I thought he was about to propose to me. Everything felt perfect until someone behind me said my name. Not quietly, not by mistake. She said it like she already knew me, and instantly something felt wrong. I turned and saw her standing there, just watching me, like she had been waiting for this. I looked back at him, but he didn't say anything. He just stood there. Then I noticed his hand. He was gripping the ring box, but he wasn't opening it anymore. And when she finally reached us, she didn't look at him. She looked straight at me and said, "We need to talk." She stopped right in front of me, close enough that I could see every detail, and the first thing she said was, "You don't know, do you?" I looked at her, then at him, waiting for him to say something, but he stayed completely silent. She let out a small laugh, not loud, not friendly, and said, "That's exactly what I thought." Then she pulled out her phone and held it up in front of me like she already knew what I was about to see. I didn't want to look, but I did, and the moment I saw the screen, my stomach dropped. It was him, standing next to her, wearing the same ring, and suddenly nothing made sense anymore. She looked straight at me and said, "We got married last year." I blanked, thinking I heard it wrong, but she didn't look confused. She looked completely certain. I turned to him instantly, waiting for him to deny it, but he didn't say a single word. Instead, he just looked down, like he already knew this moment was coming. My chest tightened, because that silence felt louder than anything he could have said. And in that moment, I stopped questioning her and started realizing she was telling the truth. Before I could even react, people around us started whispering, and suddenly it felt like everyone was watching. I stepped back slightly, trying to breathe, but the space around me felt smaller with every second. She didn't move. She just stood there, calm, like she had already seen this reaction before. Then she looked at him and said, "Are you going to tell her, or should I?" My heart dropped again, because that wasn't just a question. It meant there was more. And in that moment, I realized this wasn't the full truth yet. This was just the beginning. She looked back at me and said, "You're not the only one." For a second, I didn't understand, and then it hit me. There was someone else, too. "What do you mean?" I shook my head, stepping back slightly, and said, "What do you mean?" She didn't answer immediately. She just smiled, like she was deciding how much to tell me. Then she said, "There's another girl, and she doesn't know either." And in that moment, everything inside me snapped, because this wasn't just betrayal anymore. This was something worse. I stepped forward this time, not back, and looked straight at him and said, "How many?" He stayed quiet again, and that silence hit harder than anything he could say. I laughed, but it wasn't real. It just came out because I didn't know what else to do. People around us were watching now, some recording, some whispering, but I didn't care anymore. She crossed her arms and said, "You should ask him about the dates." And that's when I realized this wasn't just lies. This was planned. I shook my head and said, "No, this doesn't make sense." it can't. But even as I said it, I could feel it. Everything was already falling apart.
She stepped slightly closer this time and said, "You really didn't know anything, did you?"
I didn't answer because at that point, I didn't even trust my own thoughts. Then she said something that made everything worse. He told me the same story. And that's when I realized this wasn't just happening to me. This was his pattern. I looked at him one last time and said, "Say something, anything." But he didn't. He just stood there, completely silent, like he had nothing left to say. And that's when I stopped waiting for answers and started seeing the truth clearly. I turned to her and said, "Does she know about me?" She shook her head slowly and said, "No, she thinks she's the only one." And in that moment, I realized this wasn't just the end of my story. It was the beginning of his worst mistake. If you were me, would you warn her or let her marry him anyway?